Hi there and welcome to Transcona Trailer Sales. Today I'm going to be walking you through your 2024 Wildwood 44 View. We are just going to start off at the back of the unit. On the left you do have your ladder which goes up to your roof so you can check your seals every once in a while. You got your max air vent that comes right out the back here. Just be mindful of that. Got a cable satellite outlet. Around to the left of the unit here. First thing you notice right up on the wall here, this is going to be your dryer vent exit whenever your dryer is running. This can be blowing out hot air. And then this is just a stack vent for your shower. You got your main power cord inlet. It is a 50 amp cord. Be mindful of that. You just take in this silver strip here and you're lining it up with that one there, and these two notches line up with those there. You're just pushing that into place, twisting it, locks it in. Got that threaded collar to really lock it down. If you follow that cord back, you do have your standard 50 amp plug end. Now, a lot of campsites may not have this, so we do include your 30 amp dog bone adapter. Just keep it in mind whenever you're going down to 30 amps of power, you won't be able to run 2 air conditioners at once. You will only be able to run 1. And whenever you do plug this cord in, you do have 2 blue lights that's telling you have a successful power source. And if you were to want, we do also include a 15 amp park adapter. Just keep it in mind, if you're going down to 15 amps of power with a unit this big, really you're only going to want to be running your fridge and maybe lights, and that's about it. If you notice right down below here, this is going to be one of your sewer outlets. This one is for the washer though. So whenever you are running that dryer, you do have, or the washer, sorry, you do have to make sure that this is open and connected. Otherwise, it's going to back up inside. And you got that cap that locks into place like so. And your sewer hose connector is going to connect the same way. A little bit ahead here, you do have your exterior shower, which opens with a 751 key. You should get one included with your unit. It does look just like this. You're just gonna stick that in there, unlock that door, and you got your swivel head with hot and cold water. Put that into place like so. Lock that up. You got your low point drains right down below here. What these are for is just if you're leaving the unit for a while and you don't want the water to go stale or stagnant, you just crack these guys open, and it is just going to drain any water that's left inside the lines. It's good practice to do whenever you're leaving, because if you do, for whatever reason, happen to have a water leak, all that water's not going to leak inside. You got one black tank flush. Now this is for the black tank in the back here. This is for your back bedroom or your back bathroom. Whenever you're running this black tank flush, you do have to have the sewer connected and the tank open. Otherwise, you do run the risk of bursting the tank. So always making sure that you do have that open. The main purpose of that is if you're getting false monitor panel readings or you're just noticing an odor inside the unit, it just helps keep that tank that little bit cleaner. And then you do come to your first sewer outlet. Now this is going to be for the back bathroom, the main back bathroom. You got your gray tank and your black tank. You're always going to want to empty the black tank first. It's going to be your dirtiest water filled from your toilets. Then you can come follow behind that with your gray tank, which is typically a little cleaner water filled from your sink and your shower. Works the same way as the washer outlet does. You're just taking that cap, twisting it off, those ears line up with those notches there, locking it into place. Following up, you got your Suburban tankless water heater. You're just opening that guy up. The main power switch to turn this on is just right on the wall here. Turning that power switch on turns on power to the thermostat that's inside on the wall, which I'm going to show you in a second. And then just located in this compartment here is just giving you a service port to access the back of this water heater. Not much really you have to worry about there. A little further ahead, you do have another sewer outlet. Now this is going to be for the galley and the second bathroom closer to the front of the unit. It works the same way, having the black and the gray, minus the fact that you do have a second black tank valve right here. So whenever you go to do your blacks, you're always going to want to make sure you hit this one first, and then you can hit that next one next. And then once that's done, you can follow behind that with the gray. Right up top here, you do have your over your stove vent, range hood vent. You're always going to want to make sure that flap is pulled out, allowing it to evacuate the fumes. And whenever you're traveling or you're leaving the unit for a while, you can snap it back into place. It is pretty high up, so you are going to need a step ladder to get to that. Inside this compartment here, again, you're just taking your M key, which will be included with your unit. It's going to be the same one that you use to open up your main door. Flip this guy open, and it's just going to be a service port for your fridge, giving you access to that water line for your ice maker for winterization purposes, because you do have to winterize that, otherwise you can crack it. A little further ahead, you have another black tank flush. Now that's going to be for the back bathroom, and it works the same way as the front one, just always making sure you have that tank opened up and connected. Then you got your city water connection, which fills your fresh water tank. That's what your water pump draws off of. And then if you get to a site with service, you got your city water connection, thread a guard nose in here, turn it on. It's going to pressurize all the lines without the needing to run your water pump. Whenever you're running your furnace, this guy's going to be blowing out hot air, so just be mindful of that. Right down below, you got your fresh tank drain. Pulling that valve drains all the water inside your fresh tank. And then inside this compartment here is just some storage, and also where you're going to find your starter pack, as well as this nice little shelf which connects on the other side of the unit. Just be mindful whenever you are piling things in here, your VersaTilt bed strut is right here, so you're not going to be wanting to damage that or block that, because it does go up and down. And this also does get access to underneath the bed. Underneath these covers here, your 2 standard 30-pound propane tanks. For most of the time, you can just loosen up these tabs up top here and flip this guy up, and you can do what you need to do right up from up top here. But for the purpose of the video, I will just remove the cover completely, which just slides off. You got your 2 standard style barbecue tanks. To open them up, you're just taking that valve, opening it up. Wherever this is, your regulator is pointed, is which tank it's going to be drawing it off of. So with it pointed this way, it's going to draw off this tank, or you could turn it to that way and it's going to draw off that tank. Right up front here, you do have your battery box. Inside there is going to be your battery. Then you got your tongue jack up front. One way is down, the other way is up. You got 2 standard 110 plugins. And you get to your patio door. Now to get inside this door, you do have to just push this assist handle up, fold it 90 degrees, it'll lock into place. You can grab your stairs, and they fold down just like so. I'll show you inside in a minute. I'm just going to take you down the rest of the outside of the unit. Again, 2 more plugins as well as a coax outlet. You got your 2 exterior speakers and your awning arms to get inside. You can go through that back door there, but today we will just be going through this door here. You're just going to slide that door open, take a step on inside. First thing you're going to notice right on your left is just your fire extinguisher. That's going to be just like home. Pull the pin and shoot. On the wall here, you're going to have your kind of main monitor panel system. To turn those ceiling lights on, you're going to turn the ceiling light button on. Hit that dimmer switch. It turns on all your 12-volt lights above your head, and because it's a dimmer switch, if you push and hold it, it's going to put those lights from bright to dim, and anywhere you let off is where they'll stay. Then you got some outside speaker lights which you can turn on, which illuminate those speakers blue, and then you do have another light which turns on a pendant light above the slide out, and then you have your water pump switch which draws out of your fresh tank. Then you just have your monitor panel system, where you have your battery, your fresh, your black 1, black 2, your gray, and your galley. Galley is going to be your sink, kitchen sink, and then your gray is going to be from your bathroom sinks. And then you got your black 1 and your black 2. Black 1 is going to be that front bathroom, that rear bathroom. Black 2 is going to be the front bathroom. And then right on the wall here, you do have that thermostat I was telling you about earlier. To turn that on, you're just pressing that button. It'll tell you your current output temp. To get it to start going hot, you do have to just turn on one of the faucets and it'll start automatically going up. Right now, it's going to be set to 50 degrees Celsius. This is kind of like a child safe mode. If you hold this button for 5 to 10 seconds, it will unlock and allow you to go to 55. But just for an added safety measure, it does have, when you originally turn it on, to 50 degrees. And then whenever you're not using it, you hit that power button to turn it off. And I do just recommend going to the water heater itself and turning that off as well if you're not using it. And then you have your thermostat right down below here. That works pretty simply. Push it once, it illuminates itself, push it again, and you can get between your different mode options. So you got off, cool, heat, and then you can go cool plus heat. So it's going to turn the furnace or the air conditioner on depending on what you have the temperature set inside the room. Hitting that button one more time, and you can get into the fan section. So you can either have it on high, low, or off. And then you have your current room temperature. To change the current room temperature, you do just have to put it on to one of the either cool or heat settings, and it'll allow you to adjust what you have it at. On the wall here, you're gonna notice you have a lot of switches. All these switches down below on this white panel just turn on different pendant lights around the unit. And then you have your awning extend and retract switch. Hitting that button extend, that awning makes its way out. Once fully extended, you're going to see the back of the metal tube and the little flap hang down. Once fully extended, you're going to see that little there you go. Then to bring it in, you're just hitting that button retract. It's going to start bringing itself in. Now I do recommend if it were to ever start raining, you could take any arm, front or rear, and just pull down on it. Oh. And that does not have that. But if you retract it, it's going to come in. Now I do recommend retracting that awning if we do have any winds picking up to about 5 to 10 kilometers an hour, because you don't want to run the risk of bending anything. Once you get to these buttons here, this operates your TV lift. Now how these switches work is with them on the down position like they are, you can push up or down, nothing's gonna happen until you push the button up. So for example, if you hit the TV lift button, it's gonna operate that TV lift. Then you turn that TV lift down and you can operate all your different shades depending on what you wanna do. You can have them all on at once or individually, but that does allow you to operate these shades. Now just being mindful that because they're motorized, do not try to operate them manually because you can wreck those motors. Just always making sure you turn those switches off after you're done. And then back to the monitor panel system, you got your slide out button. Hitting that button out, the slide outs are going to start making their way out front and rear. Being mindful of what's on either side of those slide outs before you operate them. That way you don't run the risk of damaging anything. And they are hydraulically operated slide outs, so the least heavy of the slide out is going to make its way out first, and then the heavier one will make its way out second, and then it works the same way for bringing them in. You're gonna know those slide outs are fully extended when you hear the motors wind up. And there you go. Taking a step into the kitchen area, you got your sink with hot and cold water, some nice storage space down below. You got your residential style fridge. Notice this travel latch. Whenever you're moving that trailer around, you're going to want to make sure that's locked into place. That way you don't run the risk of damaging it. All your controls are right up top here. Down below, you do have that freezer. Inside this door here, if you just pop that open, you do just get that one single bathroom. You got your toilet and your sink, as well as GFI plug, and this does have a max air fan as well. The way those max air fans work is you're just going to take that tab, push it in, and you can push out with the whole handle. Hitting that button up top turns it on. To bring it in, you're just pushing that tab again and pulling back, and it'll close that up. If you pull these two screws out from behind, it'll give you access to your water pump for winterization. Into the kitchen area, you got your microwave. That's gonna be just like home. Not much I'm gonna show you there, minus that it does have the built-in range hood. So you're just hitting that button, it'll turn that vent on, high, low, and then off, and then the same thing for the light. To get the stove to light, you're just turning those knobs over to high and hitting the sparker by pushing in, and they turn on. That one middle one is just going to be for the oven, but they do fire right on up. to get that oven to light, you're just opening that up, turning that knob over to the light option and holding it in. Just be mindful that because it's a propane system, if you left the system off for a while, it allows air to get inside the system, so it can take a while to purge itself. But there you go. You see we're already holding that pilot light there. Turn it up to your desired temperature and it fires right on up. You do have a light inside here. You got your main dinette area, which you do have some nice lights right above your head. Up top, each bunk area is just bunk space with some plugins and some all the blinds that aren't motorized, which would be inside this bunk space. The bathroom and the front bedroom do work the same way. They're just gonna kind of sit where you leave them and then just pull them once and they retract themselves back up. This happens to be a fire exit. So you're just gonna pull that little red tab, screen's gonna pop out of place and you can take your handle, push it out and hop on out. Come into your little entertainment center area. You got your stereo, which is going to be pretty much just like home, minus the fact that you're having zone 1 and zone 2. Zone 1 is going to be your interior speakers. Zone 2 is going to be your exterior speakers. And then you just have your fireplace down below. Far right, you got the power button. The button next to that's going to change your different flame colors. One more to the left changes your rock colors. And then, of course, you have your heat option. Pushing that button twice gets you into the low heat mode. Then you get into high heat mode and then off again. And then you do have a timer that goes from anywhere from 30 minutes to 9 hours. And then it'll turn off. Power button on the right. Opening up this door. It does open kind of weird, so just be mindful of that. It doesn't open like a regular door. It kind of slides, so don't walk into it. Light switch on your left. You take a step down into the bathroom. You got your main GFI plug right on the wall here. If you ever have an outlet that doesn't work, this would be the first place I'd check. You got tests on the bottom, reset up top. If this green light's on, it's telling you that it's good to go. Inside here is just some cupboard space, and then right down below you do have your fuse and breaker panel. Whenever a breaker trips, it's going to sit in the middle, so you do just have to turn it off and then back on again to reset it. And whenever you have a fuse pop, there's going to be a little red indicator light telling you which one's popped. Inside this cupboard here is just going to be your washer dryer. The plugins for that are on the right of the dryer, as well as the 2 water. That should already be ready to go for you though. You got your shower, hot and cold water. This knob controls your water. This knob up here is going to control which spout it comes off. So you got 2 different jet options, and then you have a swivel head and a fixed head. Then you got your toilet, pretty simple. Flusher's just right on the right there. We're going to go check out the bedroom now. Some nice storage space right on the right here. To open up this door, you're just kind of pushing and turning like the one inside the bathroom. Taking a step down, you got your light switch right behind that door on the right there. This thermostat is going to control your second AC at the front here. This is only going to control that AC. You cannot control the heat from this thermostat. And it works the same way as the one I showed you earlier. And then you got your Versatilt bed. One way is up, the other way is down. And then, of course, you have another fireplace in here, which does work the same way as the one I showed you earlier. If you're going down to 30 amps of power, you can only run one fireplace at a time. And if you notice right on this drawer here, it is labeled antifreeze inlet. So you're just going to take that drawer. You got a little tab on each side. You just flick those in opposite directions. You slide that open, and you can see you got your little water pump right down below there, where you got that valve for winterization that follows. And if you follow it, it does follow to this tube where you can dump it inside your pail of antifreeze. And then to get this back inside, if you were to take it out, you just got to line up the sliders and just push it into place, nice and easy. Some storage space around the bed. Got some overhead lights. The blinds, again, work the same way as the one in the bunk space, where they just kind of sit where you leave them. They do not work automatically. And then another thing I will mention is that because the stove and the furnace both operate off propane, you are going to have an LP detector located right by these seats here. Propane's heavier than air. That guy will start detecting it if you do start to get to worrisome levels. If that guy starts going off, just turn off the main supply of propane at the front of the unit and open up some windows just to ventilate it out a little bit. And then just notice you got another little nice accent light there. That's going to be it for this unit here. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call.